Watching Will It Blend. Why are people so fascinated with it? Why is there such a cult following to the Blendtec? It's because the daggone thing works unbelievably well. This will replace 8 appliances in your kitchen. How much room is your coffee grinder taking up? How much room is your juicer taking up? A blender? How about an ice cream maker? This goes on and on at what it can do. It comes with an unbelievable 8-year limited warranty, which is fantastic. And I love the story behind this, because it's literally the idea of, let's make a blender that they can guarantee for a minimum of 8 years, this is going to blend the heck out of everything you have and clean up all the clutter because it replaces 8 appliances. How does it work? Well, it's easy. You push a button, and I want you to see, watch this go to work. And we're talking about big chunks of pineapple, full grapes. I know they were doing a full kiwi with all its fuzz and everything a little bit earlier, and just that fast, listen to that engine. It's gonna give us a gorgeous smoothie. I gotta save one for Steve, my producer. So Steve, wherever you are, this is your smoothie. It's ready to go. That's just the beginning of the Blendtec story. Let me show you the colors, and let's explain why tonight is kind of relevant. This has been our today's special all day long. This is the last chance at it. You literally have 2 hours to take advantage of a really special savings, because just the blender by itself, just this alone, is $449. So right there, if I stopped and said, yeah, you get Blendtec, it's $299.95. That would be awesome, but we bonus in extra goodies, and the bonus is both the twister jar with the spatula. That is right there a $129 value. You also get recipes to get you started in here. We'll talk about Casey's book in just a second. That's all available, but all of this is included in our exclusive bundle. What are the colors? We love these. The first one right here is the pomegranate. It's a beautiful deep red. I think it's gorgeous, and that's the most popular. Beside that is going to be your slate gray. Then, of course, we're gonna have the orchid, which is kind of a deep purple. That's the most limited, actually. Right there, the next one beside that one is our sea foam. It's like a turquoise, stunning. And then also, that's limited. And then finally, we have black. Black's easy, very unisex, great gift idea. We got a lot to get into. Miss Casey's joining me. Miss Casey, you have been a part of the Blendtec family since 2011.
2011.
And you are as obsessed as those 1 billion hits on YouTube of Will It Blend. I have to tell you, this is how I learned about Blendtec. This is my husband. It's not the blender itself. He said, you have got to watch this crazy video. This is way before it was even on HSN. It's Tom's nuts. And he said, watch this nut video. And my husband was obsessed with just watching what Tom was blending, i.e. marbles. How about a rake? Go see the rake
iPhones.
An iPhone. No, we don't recommend
sticks,
you do that.
Golf balls.
We don't recommend you do that with yours, but the fact that this has that kind of power means you get great results, and you guys guarantee results for years to come.
8-year warranty, totally made top to tail in the US in Orem, Utah.
I love that too.
I know, 400 families working their tails off to make the world's most advanced blenders. So as soon as I say blender, I know so many people go, oh, I don't want to talk about blenders because mine doesn't work and it collects dust and it does nothing. It frustrates me. And I hate blenders. This is so much more than a blender. We're in this big decluttering craze right now in our lives, right? Thanks to some popular shows. But think about taking 8 appliances that are one-trick ponies in your kitchen and replacing it with something sleek, stylish, powerful, awesome, that gives you incredible results. And here's why, and here's the technology. If you've ever seen a square blender, it's a Blendtec blender. Blendtec invented the square jar. Why is it square? Not just because it looks cool, because square means friction. Those ingredients get slammed up against each wall, and that pulls them down into the middle. Guess what? A round blender, it just creates a big empty hole in the middle. And then you've got to get the stir stick out. We don't have a stir stick. The plunger thing. Yeah. Does it look like I want more work in my life? Like I want to stand around mashing my... Am I making butter? Yeah. Churning my smoothie. This isn't pioneer times.
I shouldn't have to work on my smoothie.
No. All you have to do is have a finger, maybe an index finger that pokes a button. That's all you have to do with Blendtec.
And I want you guys to see, because last time you did this when I was watching, I really want you to notice. Now I'm going to drink this thing, okay? Would you ever dare drink something that had full seeds on it,
no,
right?
you'd say, ew, or, you know, peel on the apple, not so bad.
Look, they didn't bother to take, they left the Cory part, the gross part in there.
Yeah, we did that on purpose. Fuzz on the kiwi. You know, you would never eat the kiwi with the fuzz.
So not appetizing at this point, I'm just saying.
Greens on the side, but guess what? Hey, that's where the nutrients are. The only problem is, if you have a traditional blender, blender, you know it can't cut through any of that. So you would never even try. You know, my in-laws have a shoddy blender, and I just,
really?
It's a lost cause at this point. They do, even with me and their family.
Have they not seen the videos,
they
for
have,
gosh sakes?
But they've grown accustomed to chewing their smoothies. And I think they just like the exercise on their jaw. I prefer just sipping it with a straw. Fire it up. And here's the pre-programmed settings. This is what sets Blendtec apart from anything else on the market. Engineers have configured this blender so that whether you're doing batters, margaritas or frozen drinks, smoothies, ice cream, whole juices, soup, or anything in between, these 6 pre-programmed settings fire up and give you perfect results. So I give it a press, and then we just walk away, Suzanne, because guess what? Blendtec blenders require no babysitting. Hear that gentle roar? Get ready for it. It picks up the pace on its own. That's the pre-programmed setting, because Blendtec engineers know that first, you gotta chop up the big stuff. Then, you gotta ramp up and really crush everything. Then, you've gotta go into liquefy mode. You know those old blenders from the 70s, 80s that have all those buttons, and you're like, pulverize, liquefy, like, I don't know what does what or when to use what. Any other blender on the market, you have to know when to turn it off, and you're guessing. You're like, I don't know, I guess it's done. Yeah. This will shut off automatically.
Oh, it does. So
there's a countdown. No, see that in the front? In 18, 17, 16 seconds, we have a perfect blend.
Okay, guys, I'm on Facebook Live, so if you want to ask Casey a question, you can. And I do have one. I think it's a good one. She says, does it have a plastic blending container instead of glass? She bought the red color.
It is a Triton copolyester jar. So it is not glass, but it's Triton copolyester, and it's NSF certified. That's the National Sanitation Foundation. So it won't harbor bacteria. You don't have to worry about that. And it's virtually shatter resistant.
Triton is like the epitome when it comes to
the big daddy.
Yeah, is Triton. So yes, you're in good shape.
Yes,
and you know what? It makes it lighter, but it's much more durable than glass. Like it's lighter but more durable. Can I have it? You ready?
Absolutely. Now look
Remember,
how tiny.
Fuzzy kiwi, not my idea of a great snack at 10 o'clock at night.
Cantaloupe.
Seeds of cantaloupe.
Greens on strawberries. But did you see that the straw I gave you was so tiny so that you can't get any lumps and chunks? Tell me what you taste there.
Oh my gosh.
Is that not velvet?
It's absolutely.
It's veggie velvet.
And you know what's crazy is when you get all of that goodness, it is so satisfying because the taste to me is almost like Technicolor.
Yeah.
Remember when the Wizard of Oz, they go from black and white and all of a sudden it goes to color? Everybody goes, oh, that is exactly the flavor.
On your taste buds,
you don't even know. If you go to like a regular juicy place, you get a juicy thing, they put a bunch of stuff in it, a bunch of ice, and it's like, I don't know, it's okay. This is so vibrant, it's so crisp, it's so satisfying, and it is delicious.
It's so
I've never ever had that recipe before, but I would 100% drink that every day.
That's the total juice. Good. So that's what we're using as a whole juicer. So that's not even a smoothie. We added no liquids to that. The only liquid in there comes from the ingredients themselves.
That's great.
And also to note is, unlike a juicer, you've got the fiber in there. I've never heard a doctor say, you know what you should do? Have less fiber.
Or can you imagine if somebody handed you a bowl of just the strawberry tops, the green part, and said, just chew on that for a while, it's good for you.
Yeah.
Those were in there, and I do not taste any bitterness. I don't taste any after effect. There's none of this, is it? You ever have something, you're like, yeah, that? Or you're like, oh, geez, where's my floss?
Everyone knows that. The universal... It says,
did you guys see that? That's hilarious.
I don't want to close up on that. Okay, let's talk about things that look better than me doing that face, like nut butter. So here I've got the twister jar, and the twister jar is your bonus. It's included. This, if you go anywhere else, you got to buy this. It's an extra. But at HSN, you're lucky because you get that included. This has nuts in it. We've got honey roasted nuts. You could use just plain unsalted peanuts. That's what I typically use at home. But I can do anything that's thicky or sticky. That's how I remember when to use this.
And what do you
thicky or sticky?
So you turned it on.
I'm actually going to use my manual touch capacitor along the bottom, so I can slide that up. The nuts are immediately crushed. No, 17 seconds to nut butter.
Do you know what? Some people would hear that and go, oh, something's wrong.
No, that's
okay.
Yeah, and you know what? Here's my analogy, and I came up with it on my way here to HSN. The rental car company, I don't know how, gave me this 2-door muscle car that sounds like it's taking off to the moon. And I feel so cool in it, I'm not gonna lie. But while I was revving that engine and driving around town, I thought, when you have power, you need to hear some grr in that engine to know it's working. If you want a silent blender, you can have one, but it's actually not going to blend because it needs to make some noise if it's got power. 3 peak horsepower.
But most people's, if your blender at home started to sound like that, you'd expect smoke to be blowing out.
If you're,
right? That's what I'm saying.
If your everyday blender at home is making sounds like that,
you know it's biting the dust.
It is. You know that, you know what's about to go, that drive socket. Our direct drive socket is metal. Most blenders, it's plastic. That's why you buy one every 18 months, begrudgingly at the store for under $100. How about just one solid investment to get you started? So now we've got
8 years.
8 years.
By the way, that is absolutely delicious. And if you ever go to the store and have them custom blend your own peanut butter or almond butter or whatever you want, cost a fortune, do it yourself for pennies. Your kids will eat that. Do you have picky kids who are like, no, I'm not gonna eat anything, it's good for me? That is absolutely delicious.
This will bring a tear to any mother's eye out there. I have 3 boys, 2 are teens, 1's a tween. They actually utter these words to me. Mom, do we have any kale? Because,
come on.
Yes.
I don't believe you.
Yes, I wish I could get them right now. Honest to goodness, that's what they say, because they know that just like in that green smoothie, you don't taste the kale, you don't taste the spinach, but it's really good for you.
It's so good for you.
So good for you.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, can you do me a favor?
Yes.
I know you're shy on hands.
I got your cookbook here.
Yeah, you got a lot going on.
I do have a lot going on. What would you like me to do with my 3rd arm?
Can you take your arm and put it in here and touch the blade?
Yes.
Now, you know that you can do that with a Blendtec blender. I know, because it's Blendtec. Any
other blender that would never have. This is a really fine finger. I like this finger.
Yeah, that's because our blender blade is blunt. 4 inches of cold forged steel wingtip on the outside. Look at how gorgeous that blade is. And of course, all metal gearing into that direct drive socket. But why is it a blunt blade? Because the engineers at Blendtec noticed something. Sharp blades compensate for weak motors. So blenders that have weak motors, they go, ooh, yikes, this isn't gonna do the job, so we better sharpen up this blade and see what happens. This is so powerful at 3 peak horsepower, at 1,650 watts, that the blade is blunt. Picture a big block of ice. How do you crush that up faster? With a little chisel or with a sledgehammer? Right. We've got the sledgehammer with this blade. So I've taken rice and you can see it's not even above the blade. It's actually below the blade. And I only have a tiny amount here. But check this out for all of you that love your alternative flours and baking for yourself. Flour. Ooh, you can do that in here.
Oh, that's insane.
It grabs the rice, the grains of rice, sucks them up into the blender, and as you can see, even though they're whirling around, they're still hitting that blade at up to 300 miles per hour.
Is it really 300 miles per hour?
Yeah, my airplane wasn't even going that fast when I was coming in here. And then let's take a look at what we've got inside.
It's like dust now.
If you have...
It's so fine.
If you've ever had a baby, you always start them on rice cereal. What's rice cereal anyway? You just buy it in a box, you don't think twice.
And you spend a fortune for it.
This is what it is. And you don't even know how fresh it is, but this is what it is.
Crazy.
It's grains of rice turned into fine powder.
This is what that was.
Yeah, and look what we've turned it into.
And look at that. Look at that.
Hey, bakers, here's my fun tip. You know how you always run out of icing sugar when you need it? Grab your sugar cubes or your granulated sugar, pulse it in here and turn it into confectioner's sugar just like that. You can do the same with corn to cornmeal.
It's like powdered sugar?
Yes, that's how you get powdered sugar.
That's brilliant.
Amazing. So one tool in the kitchen replaces that coffee grinder.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Brenda says, can you please blend some celery? I don't know if we have any celery. She said, because if it blends celery, I'm buying 2. I would think celery would be nothing for this.
I don't know if I have any celery, but I can tell you that the basis of many recipes is celery, carrots, onion, and you can pop them in here and put it on pulse mode. I know what you're saying though. If you don't have the right kind of a blender, that's going to be a bit of a problem for you, right? With the celery. I wish we had a piece of celery. If we can find a piece of, oh, that's a little piece of celery. Okay, I might have to stick that in there.
Brenda, we are a full service network here. We're gonna blend celery.
We're gonna try it for you, okay?
Oh, and Lisa wants to know, I love this because she said said this earlier. You know, we're talking about, we will go over all 8 appliances. Because I think you have to get your head around that.
Yeah, well,
because
we say 8, but I could probably come up with 20 if I had enough time.
Let's do it now, though, and I'll tell you why.
Yep.
Because we've got a ton to do, and we're really gonna go through this very thoroughly.
Yeah.
But I want you to think about all the appliances that are cluttering up your space right now that this will replace. So let's do it.
So juicer, we did the first one, we did a whole juice. So take away that juicer if you've got one somewhere collecting dust. The biggie in my house was the stand mixer, because now I do my brownies, my cookie dough, my pizza dough, whatever it is that I used to do in a stand mixer, that's now gone, and this is on my counter.
You use this like a traditional stand
Yes, I do. I use this
crazy.
as a stand mixer. I also use this as a food processor. I had that big clunking food processor. Now I use it as that as well.
Wow.
Soup maker / immersion blender. This is what you can make your soup in as well. That big frozen vessel you have to put in the freezer to make ice cream. This is now an ice cream maker.
It's 5.
All in one. Meat grinder. Grab that chicken breast, that cut of meat.
Get out of here.
Really chilled, maybe slightly frozen. Pop it in, pulse, pulse, pulse. Now you've got ground meats.
Okay.
So it's a meat grinder. How many are we up
6.
to? Oh, we have 6. Coffee grinder. Did we already talk about the coffee grinder?
That's 7.
You're also doing your nut butters in here. So you're using it also as a grain mill. Did we just
Oh, no,
add
we
the
didn't
grain
do that.
mill?
No,
So
that's
now we're
8. We're
at 8
at
with the
8.
grain mill?
You hit 8.
I could keep on going. Like those little mini choppers, it replaces all those little gadgets, big and small, that you've got in the kitchen, and one appliance does it all.
And here's what I want you to do too, if you can swing it. Now you will get recipes that come with our configuration. And by the way, that is exclusive. Woo, let's get over here. While that's going, I'm gonna go over here real quick. You've got to see Lisa's book, Casey's book. This is called Power Blender Revolution. There are more than 300 recipes. And